Well, I got it home and I'm very pleased with it. This thing, oh, it's so awesome. I'm so happy with it. It's from the 1940s, so it's about 70 years old. And I've always heard that whenever you're buying a welder, the heavier the welder, the better. And man, this thing's heavy. On this side, I can't even lift it up. On this side, I can barely lift it up, though. Oh man, it's heavy though. It's like, might as well just be solid steel. Now with this welder, there are two units. There's the main transformer unit, which you could weld with just that. You see, this produces AC output. Now, I was very lucky in the fact that it actually came with the electrodes, the cables. They didn't say it came with the cables, so I'm thinking maybe they just recently found the cables, like after they were talking to me, like this afternoon they found the cables or something. Or it just slipped their mind, they forgot to say. But yeah, I'm very happy it came with this. These look like they're made of Bakelite, so they might be the original one. Don't know. And this one's pretty old too. Well, anyway, so let's say I wanted to weld with this, and I didn't want to use this top unit, whatever that does. I would take my ground cable, and I would plug it into the tap marked G for ground, and I twist it in. Of course, I want to clean these up a little bit because these are a lot of patina and stuff on them. Now, for my main welding rod, I can put these into a series of different taps. That way I can get exactly how much power I want. If I want to have 110 amps, put it in the 110 amp tap. If I want to put it into the 50, if I want to get 50 amps, put it in the 50 amp tap. And if I'm welding something that's really thin with like 16th inch welding rods, put it in the 10 amp. And I turn it on. Now, I'm not sure what this top unit does. I'm thinking that this top unit might be a converter because these ones output AC current. Well, I'm thinking the top may be an AC to DC converter. It might be a giant rectifier. But I don't know. It doesn't actually say it's a rectifier on there. Missing link. Missing link is the name of the welder. That's why there's a big M on it. It says it's a high cycle automatic arc. So I'm not really sure what it does. It says that it takes a 1/5 amp of power. So I'm thinking what that means is it actually consumes a 1/5 of an amp. And I think that's what this plug is right here, going up to here. I think this is just a 220 volt tap that goes through here and to here to power this also. So this may be to convert AC to DC, or maybe it's something to help strike an arc, like it maybe increases the voltage a little bit, or it's like a big capacitor. I don't know. But then if I wanted to use this, I would run the power through here into here, and then I would hook up my taps up here. And then I have that. It looks so awesome. And now the thing that really gets me is, look at that. It says continuous duty. Now finding a 150 amp continuous duty, or actually any continuous duty welder, I think it's actually pretty hard because I don't think I've ever seen a continuous duty welder. So this means that I could probably run 150 amps. I could weld with 150 amps for like 20 minutes straight without it even caring. And this top thing says its maximum is 300 amps. So I could really thrash this thing. I'm probably going to baby it, but if I'm ever going to build like a giant arc furnace and try to melt tungsten or something like that, I might run off 150 amps. This thing's so awesome. I want to weld with it now. But the thing is, it runs off 220 volts. Happens to be, though, we don't use our dryer in the basement because it just takes too much power. It's easier just to put our clothes out on the clotheslines during the day. So in the basement I have a plug, a 220 volt plug that we don't use. And I also happen to go to my storage shed and grab about 45 feet of a 440 volt cable that I got for free one time. This is a steal. This is like probably $300 worth in cables here. Then I went to Rural King and I picked up some little adapters. So I'm going to make a giant extension cord. So I'll just run this to the basement and I'll plug it in where our clothes dryer used to be, and then I'll have it run out here, and I can plug in the welder and we can weld. But I think I'm going to try to open it up and look inside see if there's any dirt dauber nests or something that might catch on fire, because I'd hate for it to catch on fire on me. This welder has not been used since 1985. The owner of it, he said it was his grandpa that used to own it. He ran like a diesel repair shop where he would fix old trucks and whatnot. And then his father inherited it when his grandfather died in 1985, but his father never used it. Then his father gave it to him, and he never used it. So this thing hasn't been used in 29 years. I'm very curious if it's actually going to work or not. But there's only one way to find out. Got to make this extension cord first, though. Okay, my mom is now going to see how much length we actually have. Because I got this for free a long time ago, and I really don't know how long it is. Oh man, that's long. Yeah. Well, I'll go take that one and take it into the basement. My mom was really nice and moved the dryer plug. So now the dryer plug is right here. That's so awesome. Could you bring a chair up here? This is so cool. Look at that. I was actually trying to build one of these, but I just didn't have the materials. So it looks all fine and good inside. I say let's try to fire it up. Okay, now we're going to attempt to weld with it. Put this in the ground. Now I'll try this on 20 amps. Now my mother is on fire duty. She has a dry chemical fire extinguisher and a CO2 fire extinguisher and welding gloves, so she can handle any fire or anything like that. That's working nice. That's such a healthy hum. So this welder has worked wonderfully. It had no issues with 1/16 inch welding rods. These are the welding rods I've been using mostly because previously I've been using either my MIG welder or car batteries to weld, and I've usually been using car batteries because they're easier to lug around and they're portable. But my car batteries have always had an issue with 3/32 inch welding rods. They're very difficult to use. So we're going to try 3/32 inch welding rods, and I think this welder will even have no issues with 3/32. Now we're going to try 1/8 inch welding rods. See how that does. Wow, that was even too powerful for those 1/8 inch rods. Those are some hot welds. This thing is so powerful. And that was at 150 amps. This is cool. Oh, the bottom transformer is slightly warm, but it's just slightly. Wow, that actually melted the brick into glass. That's some hot stuff right there. Well, let's put this thing back together. It seems to be working fine. Pretty awesome, huh?
How long do you run it like that?
30 seconds or so. You know this is what I've been wanting for a long time.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's bright.
Yeah.
Now that is pretty cool. So in conclusion, I'm extremely happy about this. This welder is just probably one of the best things I've ever bought for only $75. It's 70 years old. It's older than, well, probably older than my grandparents. This might have been used during World War II to build battleships or tanks or something. Who knows? And you really cannot beat that continuous duty cycle. It's just so awesome. I wasn't expecting to buy a welder. I mean, I'm not meaning that I didn't want to buy a welder. Sure, I wanted to buy a welder, but I wasn't expecting to get a good deal. And I think I've gotten a really good deal on this. And I think I might even like start a restoration project on it. But I don't know. I might not want to mess up like the decals or the stickers on the front, whatever they're called. It reminds me of the robot from an old TV show called Cheezoid. Well, the TV show wasn't called Cheezoid. I can't remember what the TV show was called. It was a comedy sketch show, I think. But Cheezoid was like a robot that was supposed to smell things and say what it smelled, but it could only recognize petrol and cheese, and it usually got those wrong. Like he'd put like the main chef guy would put cheese underneath its nose, and it would say petrol, and they'd put petrol underneath his nose, and it'd say cheese. Why Cheezoid exists? Cheezoid's so lonely. It's just so funny because it does. It looks like a robot. I mean, sure, it doesn't look like Cheezoid, but wow, I'm just, I'm okay. It's late and I'm rambling, but hey, it's random bits. I can ramble all I want. I'll probably end up calling it Cheezoid because I tend to name my tools, even though I usually don't say their names in the videos. Like my blowtorch is called Gary. I mean, I think of it, and when I think of the blowtorch, I think, oh, I gotta get Gary out. I gotta make sure Gary's gaskets are working right. So I wonder what name I'll settle on for this. Probably Cheezoid. Or you guys can suggest something. And also, if you guys have any like information about this and just want to tell me, I'd love to know in the comment section below. Hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. See ya!